Hey guys, so we're going to go over the area of composite figures, and in this case, we know how to find the area of just individual figures, but here we're going to have figures that are put together. Like for example, this one, we have a parallelogram with a trapezoid. So in this case, we're going to go and figure out the area of them individually and then add them up. So let's jump right into it. So this one, let's call this area 1, and we'll call this area 2. So we'll find the areas individually for those. And once we get those two areas and we add them up, this will be our answer, okay? So let's find the areas individually. So area 1 for a parallelogram, the formula is going to be your height times your base, okay? So in this case, we have extra information that we don't need, like the 15 cm. That one's just the length of the diagonal. We actually need the height. So if we turn it over like this is the height and this is the base, okay? Because this is also going to be 23 centimeters down here, okay? So we're going to get 14 times 23, and in this case, it's going to be 322, okay? So that's the area of this parallelogram. For the trapezoid, this is a trapezoid, the formula is 1/2 times your height times base 1 plus base 2. Well, in this case, we know the height, right? It's 19, so it's going to be 1/2 times 19 times base 1, we can say it's 34, plus base 2, it's this length. Well, in this case, since this is a parallelogram, that means this side and that side are the same. So it's 15 centimeters, okay? So when we multiply this out, we end up getting 465.5. So now we're going to add up these two here. So we're going to get 322, which is the area of 1, and 465, which is the area of 2. And we get 787.5 centimeters squared, okay? So that's how you work this one out right there. This next one, it has 3 shapes that we need to find the area of. So we can call this semicircle area 1, we can call this trapezoid area 2, and we can call this square area 3. So area 1 plus area 2 plus area 3 will give us our final answer, okay? So let's go ahead and figure out what is area 1. Okay, well, to find the area of a whole circle, it's pi r squared, but to find the area of a semicircle is just half of it, right? So in this case, we need to figure out what the radius is. So in this case, the radius would be from here to here, or from here to here, right? Well, do we know the length of this one? And the answer is yes, because this is a square, so this is also 12.5. So we're going to get 1/2 times pi times 12.5 squared, okay? And in this case, when you multiply all the stuff out, you're going to get 245.44, okay? So that's area 1. Area 2, which is this trapezoid, we're going to get 1/2 times your height times base 1 plus base 2, okay? So the height in this case would be this one here, okay? So the height there, now, we kind of don't have enough information, well, a lot of information, but we do know that this is a radius and this is a radius. So we do know that this is 12.5 because it's a radius. So the height there is 12.5. So we're going to get 1/2 times 12.5. Base 1, well, we can call this base 1, that one's also 12.5. Plus, we're going to get this base right here. Well, we know this whole from here to here is 55. Well, from here to here, we know that's the radius. And we know the radius is 12.5. So 55 minus 12.5, in this case, we end up getting that this is 42.5. So we're gonna get 42.5. Okay, we're gonna multiply them out, and we end up getting 343.75. Okay. Now this one here, the last one's one of the easier ones. You have to find the area of the square. So finding the area of the square is 12.5 times 12.5. And in this case, it ends up being 12.5 squared is 156.25. So when we add all these up, so it's going to be 245 plus 44 plus 343 plus 75 plus 156.25. Well, that ends up equaling to 745.44 millimeters squared, okay? So that's how you work this one out. Okay, the next one is how to find the area of a shaded region, which is kind of like composite figures, right? So in this case, we want to find the area of this shaded portion. It's like a ring. So here, what's recommended is for you to find the area of the, let's say the area of the inner circle, and then find the area of the whole outer circle. So it's both of them. Not just, in order for us to find the shaded part, we need to end up subtracting the area of the big circle minus the area of the small circle. So that's the formula that we're going to be using to find the area of the shaded part. So let's find the area of A2, which is the big circle. Well, to find the area of a circle is pi r squared. Well, here we need to end up figuring out what the radius is. So from here to the center of the circle to the outside, well, they're telling us from here to here is 21 meters, which is the diameter, right? But to find the radius from that, we divide it by 2. So this ends up being 10.5 because that's half of 21. So pi times 10.5 squared. Well, when we multiply that out, we end up getting 346.36. Okay? And now to find the area of the inner circle, we use the same formula, but it's going to be a different radius. So it's going to be from here to here. Well, we know that this portion here is 3.5. We also know that this whole diameter from here all the way to here is 21. So if we take away 3.5 and another 3.5 from 21, we'll end up getting the diameter of the whole thing. So 3.5 times 2, because there's 2 of them here and here, that ends up being 7. And then if I take away 7 from 21, that ends up getting 14. So the diameter from here to here is 14. But I only want the radius, so half of 14 is 7. So now we have the radius here, okay? So it's going to be pi times 7 squared. Okay, when we multiply all that out, we end up getting 153.94. So I'm going to subtract these. So 346.36 minus 153.94. When we get that, we get 192. Sorry about that. I didn't see that it was off the screen. So I replaced just these areas and we're going to subtract the 2. So 192.42 meters squared. Okay. All right. Now this one here, we can treat it like we're trying to find the area of the shaded region, which is this portion here. And what we can do is we can close this off. This ends up being a parallelogram. So this one here and this one here, that is the parallelogram, okay? So what we want to do is we want to find the area of the whole parallelogram and then take away the area of this portion here, okay? So to find the area of this parallelogram, let's call this AP, and let's call this AT. So area of the parallelogram, area of the triangle. So let's find, once we get those two, we're going to find the area of the parallelogram minus the area of the triangle, and that'll give us our answer right there. So let's go ahead and find A sub P. So A sub P is the area of the parallelogram, which is your base times your height. The base is 23.8 times the height, which is 15. So in this case, we get 15 times 23.8 is 357. Okay, so we can replace this in here. 357 minus, let's figure out the area of the triangle. Now, the problem here though is that we don't have other information. So we don't have this one here. We don't know what this value is. We're going to call that X. Now, some information that I didn't put on here is that this is 21 feet, okay? So we do know that this is 21 feet, and we actually know what this one is as well. That one's the same as this one because it's a parallelogram. So it's 23.8. Now, to figure out this portion, because the area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times height. So we know this part, but we need to know this one here. The reason we know it's a height is because it's a 90-degree angle. So what we can do is use the Pythagorean theorem to help us figure out what X is by using these two numbers. Okay, so a side note, we're going to say 23.8 squared plus equals, because this is the hypotenuse, 21 squared plus X squared. When we solve for X, we should end up getting this portion here, okay? So whenever we subtract these two, so we're going to get 21 squared minus 21 squared here. We end up getting X squared is equal to, when you square these and subtract them, you end up getting 125.44. Okay, the next step here is to take the square root, and we end up getting x is equal to 11.2. So now we know that this is 11.2. So now we have enough information to get the area. So 1/2 times 21 times 11.2 is equal to 117.6. I don't know why I put this here. So I'm gonna subtract these two. So going back over here, what we're trying to figure out is 117.6. So subtract these out, I'm gonna get 239.4 feet squared.